Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole. I'm your relationship coach and motivational speaker. So, I just want to drop some gems because we live in a time where everybody's like, don't gatekeep, right? So, if you're not against the problem, you're a part of it. So, if you're familiar with my channel, welcome. This video might make a little bit more sense to you. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. And then maybe you can look through some videos and this video will make more sense to you. But, the way that I deal with stress, because if you're familiar with my channel, then you know that unfortunately it's been 12 years of unnecessary drama with my mom and CPS and all these things, right? And on top of that, life be life, and like the cost of living is insane. The gas you got on Monday is the same gas you got on Thursday, but for some reason the price keeps changing. Like back in the day, you could get an apartment with more square footage, right? But now it's like it's triple the price, not even double the price, triple the price with like less room. And then, back in the day, tenants didn't have to pay for water and sewage and all these things, and now you do. So it's just a lot going on, right? And so the company we keep is so important. And I want to get on here and I want to volunteer some information because how I'm able to deal with this level of stress, right? Like, if you put things into perspective, my mom gave me life. So that's a lot of stress to not have a relationship with her, right? My mom kept my dad from me. So that's a lot of stress, right? And then my mom uses the system to try to manipulate and control me and interfere with the relationship with me and my son, right? So the people who gave me life and the person I gave life to, that's a lot of stress, right? And so I just want to volunteer some information on how I deal with everything. I deal with it 12 years being sober. And the importance of this is that, because, I understand that people, they handle things differently, right? But the importance is that you only have control of yourself. And so God is constantly speaking to us, whether he's talking to us directly, he's talking to us through the Bible, he's talking through us through church, or, a relative, a friend, a co-worker, whatever that situation looks like. It's a case-by-case situation. But there's two things that you accomplish when you're sober. One, you hear him faster and you can respond quickly, right? And then the second thing is that you build a higher tolerance for pain. Like, unfortunately I suffer from migraines, and sometimes my migraines are so bad I throw up from a migraine, right? But I've had multiple jobs at one time, or work 12 hours or 19 hours in a day. And the longest I've ever worked was like 21 hours. And I've had migraines since I was 16, right? So this has been something I've been dealing with for a long time. And it's kind of like, how could someone with migraines function under this level of pressure? And so when you don't self-medicate and you don't numb the pain, it gets you to the next level. It's kind of like a video game, right? It's like you beat this level and now you got a new level with more obstacles and more things that you have to overcome. But that level that you just beat prepared you for the next thing. And so when you self-medicate and don't do things in moderation, you just stay stuck. It's like every time you feel anxiety or you feel inconvenience or you feel uncomfortable, it's like you're just stuck there. And it's like on the other side of pain is pleasure, right? So like once you get past it, once you are comfortable being uncomfortable, now you can move to the next thing. And one of the ways that I deal with stress is that I'm very mindful of the company I keep. See, oftentimes people are led astray, right? Like the devil needs your help to self-destruct. So the devil won't come to you like you see in the movies. He'll come to you in a fake friend, a relative, a co-worker, like just any situation, right? He's always going to find himself in your environment. And so when you do things sober, you can see him faster. Like I had someone give me bad advice, right? I had someone tell me, um, I was doing something and they were like, oh, you don't have to leave notes for that, right? But here's the thing. America is not based on what you know. America is based on what you can prove. So if you're not leaving notes, if you're not documenting anything, right? When that conversation comes back, because it will, you're not going to memorize that. And the only way that you're going to know what happened, when it happened, and how it happened is to take notes. And that's why, like, sometimes, like, if you are going through something, people say journal, jot it down, keep a record, do this. Why? Because America is not based on what you know, it's based on what you can prove. So when they start asking you questions, you can say it was this time or this date at this place, because you're not going to memorize everything, right? And so that's the gem that I want to give you, is that there's people who will have the right answers and gatekeep, right? So you'll have people give you bad advice on purpose. And when you're going through this level of stress, life is still life, and like, you still got to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll give you another example of what I'm saying. You'll have some people who say, don't wear makeup, don't do this, don't do that. Listen, depending on what job you want to work and the circle you want to be in, you better look just for the job you want and not the job you have. Because the people who do the most work get the less pay. The people who do the less work make the most money. So, you have to be able to navigate certain situations. There might be, like, you might have a degree, and there might be time that you're working in corporate America and you might be working for a big company. But you also have to know that, okay, if something happens and you have to shift, you have to be prepared to shift and go work at a warehouse or do a blue collar job, but still dress for success, still dress for the job that you want, because you understand that life has seasons, and it's a roller coaster. There's going to be peaks and valleys. So always look presentable, because you never know, like, who you haven't seen in a long time. Or, I remember there was a time where I was like working one job, and then somebody saw me and offered me a job. And I'll never forget, the very first job I had, it was in a mall, and it was like one of my favorite stores. And I used to shop at that place all the time. And because I was a good customer and, always dressed nice, they just offered me a job. I had the job before I even filled out the application. And that's the gem that I want to give you, is that, unfortunately, life be lifing. And things are going to happen. And there's going to be a lot of things that are out of your control, like my mother and her toxic behavior, right? But you have to understand that Jesus Christ loves you. And, people say don't question God. In the 12 years, I've questioned God. I did it respectfully. But I was like, for real, God, like, of all people, you gave me her? Or 12 years? I mean, this is a long time. Like, but I did it respectfully. But it's like, when you ask God, He'll give you the answers. And what it is that by my mom being toxic and me being the only child and her keeping me away from my dad, you got to go through Christian boot camp, right? Like no one is born knowing every single thing. And even when you take your last breath, you won't know every single thing. So God has to develop you. And anything that it comes out really good, it took time to develop them. Like, the best food is made with love, but it has to marinate, right? So they might have prepped it, they'll prep the food, they might have marinated like for a couple of hours or a day, things of that nature. That's why they have like slow cookers and things like that. And so what I want to tell you is that you're human, and sometimes you're going to be frustrated. But the gem that I want to give you, and I pray that this word blesses you, is that know that the only relationship that will ever matter in life is your life relationship with Jesus Christ. That's it. And when I'm going through all this stuff with my mom and CPS and, fake friends and fake relatives and, I'm losing real people, but then also mourning the relationship of people who are still here, I always say, as long as I have Jesus Christ, that's all that matters. And that's the gem that I want to give you. As long as you have Jesus Christ, that's all that matters. Everybody's not going to like you, and that's okay. Everybody's not going to accept you, and that's okay. And you're not going to make everybody happy and everybody smile every single day, and that's okay. But your relationship with God is extremely important. When you get sick, you don't pray to your spouse, you don't pray to your friends, you don't pray to your job, you pray to God. You're begging God. I know people who don't believe in God, who don't have a relationship with God. And when stuff happens, they are begging God for help. That's how serious and important your relationship with Jesus Christ is. So I just want you to know that Jesus Christ loves you. And I understand that life be lifing. And these bills are out of control and things are extremely overpriced. And a lot of times life, it doesn't feel fair, right? But just know the company we keep is so important. I say no to a lot of things. I say no to things way more than I say yes to. But in order to do that, I also make sure I spend a lot of quality time with myself, because you have to get to know yourself, right? Like if you're constantly around other people and you don't ever take time for yourself, me time, then you don't know who you are. And when you're under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress, when you don't know who you are, people can come and tell you who you are. And so when they tell you who they are changing your path. And they're putting you on a different path. And this could be called a monitoring spirit. And so when you're not on the right path, then you're not in line with your purpose. And we all have purpose. And so God gives us purpose. So I pray that this message blesses you, is that always know that Jesus Christ loves you. And in order to stay in line with your purpose, you have to do it sober so that you can hear him, so that you can respond faster, so that you can respond quickly, right? Like without hesitation. Somebody's giving you bad advice. You understand, hey, that's bad advice. Don't listen to them, right? Learn from other people's mistakes. They did it. Okay, I don't have to experience it. I already know the outcome. Just always remember that. Always, always, always love people. Trust God. My name is Nicole. I'm your relationship coach and your motivational speaker. Jesus Christ loves you. God bless you.